Welcome to Ethereal, where we keep it real. This is going to be your August 8th news and updates around the Ethereum cryptocurrency. I make these quick, short formatted videos to get you the most important updates around this cryptocurrency so that you can make the most informed decision about your investments. And let's jump right into it without wasting any time. This week has been pretty quiet, but lately there's been some really interesting news coming up with this first piece of news. Ethereum surpasses $4,000 mark with institutional ETF inflows and corporate demand. So what happened here was that Ethereum has finally climbed above that 4,000 mark that we've been waiting for since December, since the election hype that we rallied, and it's propelled by strong investor flows into the spot ETFs and heightened demand from companies expanding their ETH treasury reserves. The sort of impact this is going to have is this demonstrates renewed institutional confidence, bolsters ETH's market credibility, and supports a bullish price trajectory, as we've seen and we'll cover at the end of this video in our short technical analysis segment. So this is great news, and this is exactly what we want to see the direction go towards. Next piece of news here, and arguably the most important one in my eyes, is that SEC clarifies liquid staking is not a security, fueling wider ETH sector rally. What happened was that SEC finally issued clarity on that properly structured liquid staking activities are not considered securities, which helped ignite price gains across staking tokens and Ethereum layer 2 networks amid the ETH rally. This is exactly the sort of thing we want to see. We want to see ETH not marked as a security. It could be a commodity, it could be anything else other than a security to help it grow as far as where we're at in its journey of being a bullish price action and positive growth. Other than that, the sort of impact this has is this reduces regulatory uncertainty around staking products, potentially unlocking institutional capital and bolstering DeFi and layer 2 ecosystems. That's definitely understating the fact that this is definitely going to bring in old money, as we've discovered and talked about and discussed in previous videos. Some of the old money that wants to make money on their money, it wasn't comfortable with investing in ETH, considering that they couldn't take advantage of the yield and staking properties, and now that's going to be cleared given this SEC ruling, and it's gonna pave the way for that, which is great. Last piece of news here that we're gonna cover, which is kind of interesting. Anonymous institution accumulates 667 million in ETH via 6 new wallets. So on-chain analysis revealed a mysterious buyer has amassed approximately 171,000 ETH. That's worth about 667 million over the past 4 days, channeling funds through 6 new institutional grade wallets from custodians like FalconX and Galaxy Digital. The sort of impact this is going to have is the signals major off-exchange accumulation, tightening supply, reinforcing bullish sentiment, and around long-term institutional Ethereum investment, showing that it's bullish all around. And this is kind of exciting because we've talked about supply shock in the previous videos, but this is taking it on a whole new level, and this is kind of shedding some light onto why Ethereum was doing a good job holding support lines this week and even moving farther up towards the end of this week, as we've seen, is due to some of these purchases and transactions that are going on as we've been covering Ethereum throughout the week. So let's finish off the video as always with a small technical analysis portion. As we've seen here again for the past couple of days, we've kind of done a good job of respecting some of these support lines and actually bouncing off of them. Our previous video, we expected some more short-term accumulation and potentially downturn, and even some sideways action, which we see did play out here. However, yesterday and going into today has shown super bullish action as far as some of this news that are coming out, and that's the sort of environment we're in. This is the sort of ecosystem that thrives on any sort of positive news, and next week there's supposed to be even more news around some geopolitical events that are happening, which if those come out with positive yields, it's going to bolster this performance even to a new degree. And I haven't even covered some of the professionals, so-called professionals in the industry that are calling for some insane ETH price predictions come towards the end of this August. Some of them are well above 10K, which is crazy to think about when we're not even fairly above 4K right now. We just broke the 4K level. So that being said, if you're worried at all, look at this price action. You can see that we finally broke through this resistance line that we've been testing Ever since back during the election hype that we rallied way up and got rejected by this line, now we've comfortably pushed past it. I'd like to see a little more performance before we conclude that this is the exact direction that we're headed in, which means that I'd like to see the price action kind of push towards this 4,300 level, given into the weekend. It doesn't have to be the rest of today, but I do expect a continued upward momentum for the rest of today, although we're kind of, you can see the right candle forming in the 4 and 1 hour chart, but that this is healthy price action. We can potentially see a reversal as soon as this 13-day EMA catches up with the price. I'd like to see us go above this 4,100 resistance line. And again, we've mentioned in the videos before that Ethereum has not been in a price discovery range for a really long time, and with the supply shock and potentially shorts getting squeezed out and all this new demand that's coming into the ecosystem, it's really not that hard to consider a strong upward momentum sometime soon during this month and going into September, given more additional positive news that comes around this cryptocurrency and other geopolitical events that'll help investors take on more risk on assets. So again, I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for your time. Make sure you subscribe and tune in for future videos as I provide these in short format and quick rundown important things of Ethereum that you need to keep in mind to make the most knowledgeable decision moving forward with your portfolios. That being said, again, thanks for your time for tuning in. Ethereal, keep it real.